President Trump announced late last night that he's planning on giving commencement addresses at 2 graduations this year. One of them is West Point. And that, of course, is a little bit of an awkward announcement right now, given NBC News is reporting today that those airstrike details that Trump's Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth texted to his wife and his brother and his personal lawyer and like 10 other people, those detailed down-to-the-minute plans for a forthcoming military operation in Yemen had been shared with him by a top general in CENTCOM who sent Pete Hegseth those details on a secure government system. Hegseth then turned around and took those highly sensitive details about a forthcoming operation that he had just received on a secure government system, and he texted them to his wife and all these other people using his personal phone and a commercial messaging app. So if you are graduating from West Point this year, thinking about your soon-to-start military career, potentially doing, I don't know, dangerous missions under CENTCOM command, President Trump coming to give your graduation speech while saying there's nothing wrong with the defense secretary doing stuff like that ahead of military operations in CENTCOM might make for an awkward graduation day. But don't sleep on the other graduation speech that he announced as well. Don't sleep on Alabama as well, because I don't know if this got wide play today, but the response to Trump saying he was going to give the graduation address at the University of Alabama this year elicited quite the response from Alabama's college Democrats. They said in response to this news, quote, "We are shocked and disgusted to learn that our unpopular, divisive, and authoritarian president will be involved in commencement for the graduating class of 2025. This insult will not go unanswered. The last time the disgraced criminal visited campus, he was able to turn the Alabama-Georgia game, the biggest college football game on our campus in years, into a political sideshow. We cannot allow this to happen with our commencement ceremonies. For all his meddling in University of Alabama affairs, Trump lost our campus to former Vice President Kamala Harris last semester. UA is not a fascist playground. The Trump administration kidnapped one of our PhD students for no reason a few weeks ago and is holding him without bond at an ICE black site in Louisiana. There is no greater insult than this. We simply don't want UA to be turned into a backdrop for MAGA propaganda. UA College Democrats and its partners are actively mobilizing in response to last night's news. We will have more updates in the next few days. Alabama College Democrats saying this insult will not go unanswered. As Harvard University sues the Trump administration to stop Trump targeting them, bringing a lawsuit against Trump in federal court that seems quite strong. Today, nearly 250 presidents of other colleges and universities signed a public statement that they called a call for constructive engagement. Quote, "As leaders of America's colleges, universities, and scholarly societies, we speak with one voice against the unprecedented government overreach and political interference now endangering American higher education. We are open to constructive reform and do not oppose legitimate government oversight. However, we must oppose undue government intrusion in the lives of those who learn, live, and work on our campuses. We will always seek effective and fair financial practices, but we must reject the coercive use of public research funding. American institutions of higher learning have in common the essential freedom to determine on academic grounds whom to admit and what is taught, how, and by whom. Our colleges and universities share a commitment to serve as centers of open inquiry, where in their pursuit of truth, faculty, students, and staff are free to exchange ideas and opinions across a full range of viewpoints, without fear of retribution, censorship, or deportation." Joining us now is Lynn Pascarella. She is the president of the American Association of Colleges and Universities. She's also the former president of a wonderful institution called Mount Holyoke College. She's one of the 237 academic leaders and counting who has signed the statement against Trump's, quote, unprecedented overreach. Ms. Pascarella, thanks very much for joining us. I really appreciate your time.
My pleasure.
So this statement is gaining some momentum. Can I ask about the origins of this, the sort of strategic thinking that went behind trying to pull this together?
Yes, as of 9 o'clock, we had 269 signatories. And the impetus for this was to determine whether there was a will to engage in collective action at this moment of enormity for American higher education. The strength of American higher education is our diversity of institutional types, from community colleges to research ones, HBCUs, small liberal arts colleges, faith-based institutions, and the widespread support that this statement has received demonstrates that despite the differences in our mission and the students we serve, there's a willingness to speak collectively and to act in solidarity to defend the core purposes of American higher education and those principles of academic freedom, shared governance, and institutional autonomy that are not only foundational to American higher education, but to our nation's historic mission of educating for democracy.
In recent days, we have been tracking a story here, sort of emerging story, in which some colleges and universities, particularly like their faculty bodies, the faculty senates and so on, have been expressing a desire to form sort of formal mutual defense compacts to defend universities collectively as Trump tries to individually sort of pick them off. And I feel like when you're talking about the collective action impulse behind this, it's getting at some of those same strategic imperatives. Can you help us understand how that collective action principle might work in practice as Trump continues to go after one university after another, one research funding stream after another? How does universities and colleges banding together help each of them withstand those attacks better?
Well, we must work together against the threats and governmental overreach into every aspect of college and university operations. It's not enough for an institution to defend itself. When an institution is attacked, like Harvard, Columbia, Johns Hopkins, we all need to defend those core purposes of higher education. And the components of the statement that talk about the right of universities to determine who gets admitted, what is taught, how it is taught, and by whom, are not something we came up with. They are enshrined in Supreme Court decisions. The 1957 case in Sweezy versus New Hampshire, 10 years later, the Kishian versus Board of Regents case, in which the justices ruled that academic freedom is of transcendent value, not only to the integrity and strength of higher education, but to national security and to democracy itself. And so now more than ever, each of us has to act with moral courage, so that, as someone on our call yesterday, as we gathered 193 presidents in talking about next steps, said, so that no one has to be a hero, we each have to make sure that we are defending our fundamental principles every single day.
What are things that members of the public, regular citizens, or indeed elected officials can do to help shore up universities and colleges, to help them fight these attacks from the Trump administration, to try to defend academic freedom?
We're very eager to partner with business, industry, K through 12, and citizens in our communities. We need to now more than ever demonstrate that we are anchor institutions in our communities. We are not only the primary drivers for socioeconomic advancement for individuals, but economic catalysts for our communities and our nation. And so we need to show that our success is inextricably linked to the psychological, social, educational, economic well-being of those in the communities in which we're located and those we seek to serve. We must ask our communities, what do you need from us, as opposed to telling people what we're good at? And that will go a long way in restoring public trust in the promise of American higher education.
Dr. Lynn Pascarella, president of the American Association of Colleges and Universities, which spearheaded this letter, again now 269 college and university presidents and leaders standing up collectively to say that what the Trump administration is doing is wrong and damaging. Really appreciate you helping us understand it tonight. Stay in touch. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll be right back. Stay with us.